Hi guys, how's it going? It's been a minute. We are gonna jump right into it. We are gonna talk about our birth vlog today. It's crazy how time flies by. It has been 4 months already. She is doing so great. She might come in. She's starting to fuzz a little bit. We'll see what happens. She is doing great, eating well, gaining weight, and everything. I am doing physically good. Um, the la- the month after month about 2 months after, I guess, was a little stressful for me, like a little harder, we were but it's fine now and we're doing great. But we are going to get into the details on when I went into labor and everything like that. I was at work and I had a doctor's appointment that day. It was my 40-week doctor's appointment, and it was hard because I've never had a 40-week doctor's appointment. My first came a month early, and she was just a couple days early. And so her due date was July 10th, and I had her July 8th. Crazy. And it was hard because it was the time, like, when is it gonna happen? Because my first was a month, this one's not. And it was just like, I've never went full term. I haven't gone full term. And so that was hard. But we went to work. Sorry, guys, I'm jumping around. Don't mind me. We went to work. I went to my doctor's appointment at my lunch break, mainly, and then came back. And I was at 3.5 from my doctor's appointment when he checked me, and I told him, I was like, plan on having our baby tonight because that's how it was with my first, and I bet I'm gonna go into labor tonight. Not a big deal. Went back to work and they were like, well, what are you at? And I'm like, 3.5. And I was like, that means we're gonna have the baby tonight. And they're like, well, why are you still at work? And whatever. But we went all day. I get off at work at 5, and then about maybe 7 o'clock at night, I was starting to get that hip pain that I had with my first one when I went into labor, and I was just like, I wonder if I'm going into labor. And then at this time, Trevor's not home yet, so I'm like, well, I'm just gonna wait until he gets home because it's gonna be a little while probably. But I just had the weird, like, I have a pinched nerve in my hip, is how my labors go. And then he gets home, and it was probably about 9ish, probably, by the time he gets home. And I just told him, I was like, I think I'm going into labor. And at this time, he already knows. I've informed him that we're probably going to have the baby tonight. I'm at a 3.5. I've kind of already informed him that way, but it wasn't like, oh, hey, I'm in labor, probably. You need to get home right now. No, he was fine. So he got home about, I want to say, around 9ish, and I was like, I think I'm going into labor, so you probably want to eat dinner. I already have dinner. I ate earlier because I wasn't sure if I really was or not, and I knew for me how mine goes, it's always in the middle of the night. So I'm like, oh, well, I'm just going to kind of eat a little bit earlier. It'll be fine. Everything will be okay. And then I had his dinner ready when he got home, and I told him, I was like, you're going to want to eat something and shower and all the things and maybe pack a little bag. I already got our bag packed just in case it's true. It might just go away. We don't know. Because I just get weird nerve pain. It's pretty much what it is, that I pinched my nerve in my hip is how mine feels. And he just looks at me. I'm like, well, you can go to bed, and I will probably I'll try to go to sleep also. And then about 12ish, probably about 12, I was like, I woke up, and I was like, oh, they're getting the pinching is more of like a pulsing in my hip is how it was. And so it's in there pinching, like pulsing, like a pulse pinch. It's kind of hard to explain. Like, it's just sitting there pinching, but it's like a pinch of, like, okay, pinch here, couple minutes go by, another pinch, and a couple minutes go by, and then another pinch is how like it was. And I was like, okay, well now I'm just gonna kind of walk it off because maybe I'm not quite ready to go in yet because they were pretty. I have to go off of how the pinching was because I don't have any weird contraction like people say they are, and so I had to go off of every time I felt the pinch, like a little kid coming up to me and pinching me is kind of how it felt. And so I was timing those at probably a little bit after midnight is when I was like, oh, they're starting to feel like a heavier pinch, but not like I could still walk, I could still do things. I was just kind of like, oh, this is a weird pinch. So I started timing those pinching periods, and they were still about 10 minutes apart, probably, when I was timing them. And then around probably about 1:15, 1:20-ish. No, probably 1:15-ish. I was like, okay, they're starting to get closer. And to me, I'm one of those that it's like I wait until the last second, and that's fine. Our hospital, luckily, is literally right across the street from us. And I woke up Trevor, and I think it was about 1:20 something, probably 1:20. Probably about 1:20 when we finally went over to the hospital and checked in. I had her 19 minutes from checking in. That's how quick my labors are. And my first one was even quicker. And I almost had him on the way across the street. And her, I was like, oh, my water hasn't broke though. Like, my water broke with him. My water broke hasn't with her. And we're checking in, and I'm telling the lady, like, she is going to be coming if you don't get me to her room. Like, really quick, we're going to be having her right here in this thing. And she's like, well, he can finish checking you in. So we started heading to our room. And she was doing all the thing, hooking me up, and she was like, well, do you feel like you need a push? I was like, no, but you better call the doctor because she's going to be coming. Literally, he walked in the door, and I was like, she is coming. Her head is right there. Like, I didn't get an epidural at all. I didn't get an epidural with my first one, and I didn't get an epidural with her either. And I was like, her head is right there. Like, it is right there. And he literally just walked in, and he was like, oh, yes, she is. We delivered her. Everything was good that direction. I'm one of those weird people, and I was just like, the lady, my nurse, very nice, like, everything was good, and they were like, well, when you're ready, we'll change you rooms because you deliver, and then then you go to a recovery room is kind of what it is. And I was like, well, we can go right now after I literally just probably gave birth. Like, everything's clean, everything's good to go. And I was like, well, I'm good to just walk over there now. And they're like, are you sure? And I was like, oh yeah, like, we're good. I will not lie, even without the epidural, I feel like you are easier to move to the next room or move in general. And I know some people don't have that option and have to have C-section and I understand that. And I was like, well, you never know. I plan for C-section also just in case, because my first one I was planning on a C-section and we didn't have to, and we still didn't have to, and that was great. But I recommend doing an epidural if you can do it. Most people, and it's not bad that if you guys do get an epidural. I have family members that do get epidurals. I am glad I don't get epidurals because I feel like that would be horrible, because as quick as I have them, I wouldn't be able to move to an extra. And it probably wouldn't even work on me. If it would probably work after the fact, after I deliver, so I would still feel it. But I had her, we moved to the next room, and everything was good. We came home, and that was pretty much all we did. Like, I mean, it wasn't anything fancy. I didn't pack as many things as I did with my first one. I did wash my own onesies and put on her because my first one had a bunch of kind of like the baby zits that they get, but it was like all over this bag, all over him, all over his hands, all over his face, and it's from because the hospitals Clorox, I shouldn't say Clorox, their detergent is so strong for these newborns, and where skin is so fresh and new, they can't handle a lot of that. So I actually washed my own onesies and put them on her, and because of the incident with my first, and she didn't have as many bumps, just where like her hands were still out and a couple on her face, but not like he was just like, and they were hot. So I did do that. I did take my own onesies and blanket. That was like the only thing I put on her while we were there until the going home outfit. And then I brought my own, that was pretty much all I brought for her, was like the going home outfit, white onesies on her, just to, because I had that incident with her. And then I brought my own blanket. That was pretty much all I did for her. I brought a couple things. Where we live so close, I wasn't too worried, and I knew I was going home the next day, so I wasn't too stressed out about that. Just brought a going home outfit. I knew I was going to be in the hospital gown because that's how I was with my first one, and I just kind of brought stuff like that. And then we came home, and that's where I did a better shower, cleaning, and that kind of stuff, because you can shower there and that's fine, but it's not the same as like showering at your own house. So I did shower there afterwards, because yeah, you need to. And then when I got home, I did a better cleaning of my body, because it's just kind of, it's not the same as showering at your house. So I did do that. But that was pretty much all I did for my birthing and stuff like that. I didn't have anything scary, and I did not tear, so I didn't need any of that kind of stuff. I didn't swell up near as bad with her as I did my first one. And I don't know if it's just because she is my second one, so my body already knew what it was doing with from the first to the second. So I wasn't near as swollen down there. I will say, with my first one, I did not do ice packs, and I wonder if that's why. And with her, the nurse, we put an ice pack on me, like, for down there right off the bat, and I didn't with my first one, and I wonder if that kind of helped minimize the swelling for that area. But other than that, that was it. I came home, I fed the chickens, I did all my chores still that I had to do as soon as I got home, so I did not get a relaxing. And I know it's like one of those that it's like, you shouldn't be doing that, you should just relax and enjoy it, and I understand that, but I also have chores to do also, especially with a farm and everything going on. We still needed to do that stuff. So me and my little one, not the newborn, my little man, me and him went out and did the chickens, and then watered them and everything, make sure everything was good that way. And then after I did all that, I did come in and relax and that kind of stuff. So that was kind of nice. But yeah, it was just, we didn't know what we were having. It was a surprise. We did have a couple things for her, but I also still had stuff for my first one, who's a boy, just in case. But there are some things that I'm still like, oh, they're unisex, I could still put them on her, so I'm still doing that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all. I am doing breastfeeding and formula, because I did not do that with my first, and I wish I could have. But when I had him, it was a hard time getting formula in general, so I Amazoned formula for her, so I knew I was getting the exact same formula instead of going to like Walmart or sorry guys, Walmart or Costco, or I just wanted to make sure I could get always the same brand, and with him I couldn't. So when I did do the transaction, it was like this formula, and this formula. I could never get the same formula when I needed to for him. And so with her, I just started her on a specific one, and I did it from Amazon, and I have stuck with it. I don't give her much formula, just when I know I feel like she's still hungry. That's the only time I ever give her formula. She's not, I think here in a little bit we'll start giving her baby food also, because she just turned 4 months, and so we'll be doing that also. So we'll be kind of making that transition into that, and that way she'll be starting to get more fuller, and I will probably be slowing down on the breastfeeding because it's never been my thing, but I have produced more milk with her than I did my first, so that is kind of nice. So I do kind of have more of a stash that way, but I think here in a little bit we'll be giving her baby food here soon, so that will be fun and exciting for her little life update on that. But that's all. If you guys have any other make sure to subscribe, hit the bell. If you have any comments on what things I did take, like if I needed to link anything, please let me know. I didn't take much. I just kind of took a little like sweat outfit for me, 2 outfits for her, but that was only because I was like boy or girl. And then I did white onesies that I washed in my own baby detergent. I do baby detergent for her, everybody else normal detergent, just because she's a newborn, and she'll be on that detergent for probably up until I run out of this one, to be honest, because a little goes a long way with that detergent, and it will probably last me until she's a year. It's crazy how that is, or a little less than a year probably. So she will be on that for a little while and then after she's a year, then I'll start putting her on with ours also. So then I'm not doing 2 separate laundry. It's crazy how much laundry adds up when you have 4 of them. four people in the house. It's crazy how that is. But we have a boy and a girl, and we are good with just that. This will be our last one, so we're trying to enjoy all the little newborn portions that we can with her, and everything will be great. I am going to try to do some more cooking and that kind of stuff. I'm going to try to film things that I'm going to do for Thanksgiving, because we are doing our own Thanksgiving this year, which is a first for us, and I just wanted to make our own little traditions, and hopefully with Christmas also we'll be making our own traditions, so I will try to film some of that also. But I think that's it, so please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell for more notifications. Thanks, guys.